Assalamu alaikum everyone. In this short video, I'm going to run these LLM models on the Intel Arc Pro B70, the 32 gigabyte of VRAM. Before I show you the outcome and compare those projects, I want to tell you the prompt and the result will be shared with you in the down section below. With that being said, let's check the outcome from the Ornith 1, the 9B. Here we are. You can check the prompt if you want, but it is only a countdown timer with just pause and resume functionality. This one is from the Ornith and it finished in less than a minute. If I give it a run, it's starting fine. However, the prompt is specifying that we need the numbers only of the minutes and the second, not something else. And I can see decimal here. And also the other let's say bug here I'm seeing, if I click pause, which is on minute and 43 seconds, if I hold for a second and resume, it's not going to continue the countdown from a minute and 42 seconds. No, watch out. Resume. Now 27. So the timer is running in the background. Therefore, it is not really working and it is not as expected, but still this model is really super small and yeah, still it's very good. It did most of the job. Let's move forward with the Gemma 4. This and a few models here are not being designed for, let's say, coding. Still, I want to show you the outcome. This model finished with almost 2.5 minutes, so it's really way longer than the first one. So this is from Gemma 4. Again, let's remember this is not coding purpose, but still, here we are. If I click pause, now resume is appearing and everything else is perfect. What I want to say, this Gemma, which is only 12B, it really did everything, all the requirements about the project, which is again not a coding model. If I go back, let's check the 26B, but with active parameters of 4. So if I click here, this is from the Gemma 26B, and let's see if it do any better. Here we are. The prompt is specifying that the buttons which is pause, reset, are not going to be appearing unless necessarily. So if I click pause here, you see resume button is appearing. And with the first let's say model, all the buttons was there. So what I want to say, Ornith really didn't do most of the requirements somehow. And of course with the bug in the set intervals stuff. So Gemma really doing good and scoring high when it came to this small task. I'm happy about it. I'm surprised about it actually. I thought Gemma is not going to give great results. And now, which is Qwen 3.6 and the 27B. Here, maybe there will be some sad story, but I want to say the Intel Arc Pro, the B70, is 32 gigabytes of RAMs, and it cannot really run the Qwen 3.6 27B with big context. So I need to limit it to 10K as a context, just for you to know. However, it took like 2 attempts to have it done. I'm always working with the Qwen 3.6 for coding, and always really doing good, but with more than one GPU. So here we are. If I run it, this is what I'm having. It's the most appealing one from the look, maybe. So I will start, everything's great. And I will pause, doing well. And let's resume. See, there is something here, 46. Now it's not going to continue from 46, it's going to continue from 40. So there is somehow a bug here. However, I don't see decimals or something else, but also with more than one attempt. And there is this bug, so it's not going to score really high. I didn't mention, but all the environment details are going to be also in this document. I'm using the llama.cpp, the Vulkan driver. and I'm not able to run the Qwen 35B with active parameters of 3. This one is always a crashing, no matter how much I really shrink the context, and no matter if I add another GPU, still it's crashing on my using the Intel Arc Pro B70. So just for you to be aware. So the last model is going to be the GPT, the 20B. I don't remember much about it. It really did it also in less than a minute. But yeah, of course, it's not the most appealing one. And if I give it a try, okay, so it's working. I didn't remember really so much details about testing this GPT. Yeah, now I remember. Yeah, the functionality wasn't there at all. If I click reset, pause, there is no resume, so there is no functionality at all. However, I didn't attempt or I didn't try to fix it. I just give it one go, and I want to show you what happened with the one go. With that being said, now you saw the outcome from the 6 models. Here are my scoring. I hope that will give you an idea. Here we are. So the Ornith run with the duration less than 1 minute. You notice the bugs. There is buttons and a few things are not working. It is one attempt, so therefore it's score for 6. However, the interesting numbers is here. The processing tokens was between these two numbers, and the generated numbers was around 45 in average tokens per second. For the Gemma, it is a little bit less, of course, but still I was really so much happy working with Gemma for coding. That's quite interesting. However, the 12B took almost 3 minutes, and the 26B took less than that. And both of them are scoring really high. As I told you, both of them didn't create the folder, the HTML folder, file, sorry. So therefore, if you need it to be created, it takes 2 attempts. Otherwise, the code, working code, is going to be only 1 attempt. For the processing, yeah, they are very different, but I hope this will help you, yeah, decide for your next GPU. The Qwen 3.6, it is really sad because this is the most used one, especially for people who are interested in the local LLMs. However, I'm getting a processing with 700, between 700 to 300. However, I see those numbers above the 1,000 sometimes, so it's not always the case. Anyway, I'm using also Windows 11. As you can see, you will have way more promising numbers on Ubuntu or other Linux operating system. 20 to 17, 21 to 17 as generating tokens, and it took, yeah, almost 5 minutes. However, yeah, you see some bugs there, and since I was expecting a lot, so I give it 5. It could be 5 or 6, but still, it is really not great results from Qwen. This one is a crashing. Don't expect something. However, it runs at the beginning, but it's crashed right after, like after a minute, it crashed. So therefore, these are the numbers I'm getting from it. The GPT-20B, it's going to be a little bit, it is fast actually, this one, but on any other GPUs as well. So this is the numbers when it came to the processing between 2000 and 1300. And we have here 80 to 70. Actually, I score over 100 also on the GPT-20B. However, I just wanted to share with you exactly what I've got in that test. And the GPT with one test, it will give you also the code. If you want to have 2 attempts to create the file, then we need to say the attempts was 2. I hope this video will help you, yeah, give you an idea not only about the GPU, but also about the models and their functionality. Again, Qwen 3.6 is really doing so much great, but actually it needs at least 40 gigabyte, maybe even 48 gigabyte of RAMs and more if you want to run it with the great results. Great. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you next time. Ciao, ciao.